You are the bar, as they say, when it comes to this. I'll tell you. A while back, I was at dinner, and I saw Fern, and I said, I have one request. Can you please come and participate in our up-and-coming fashion design series? And with all of the designers seeking her counsel, she said yes. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Who could turn you down?
Well, I'm happy you did it. When I look back at your legacy, when you look back at your legacy and they call you the godmother of fashion, and when we see New York Fashion Week kicking off, you started the whole darn thing. 20 years ago when you made Fashion Week an event in New York City, what was the goal?
The goal was to elevate the fashion industry, and the goal was to find safe, sound places where American fashion designers can have shows, because it all started with a disaster. This was a week before I started my job as the executive director of the CFDA, and Michael had a show in a Chelsea loft space, concrete raw space. And you know at fashion shows, if you put the bass music on, everything shakes, it's so loud. The ceiling shook.
Wait a minute, that's the ceiling on the floor?
That's the plaster from the ceiling.
Wow.
Okay,
It started to come down on the runway, onto the shoulders of Linda, Naomi, and Cindy, the one-named supermodels. They kept walking, but when the plaster landed in the laps of two of the most important fashion editors in the front row,
oh gosh,
from the International Herald Tribune and the New York Times, they wrote, "We live for fashion, we don't want to die for it."
And you live for fashion, it's in your blood. Your father was in the industry, accessory designer. So you have seen from the ground up, if you will, what it takes to make it in the fashion world.
Well, you know, you don't even realize it when you're growing up. You just listen and observe. My dad was a salesman for scarves, so I know how to tie a scarf 800 ways. His brothers were in sportswear and textiles. And I took every chance I could get when a day off from school to go to work with my father. But I fell in love with the industry.
You fell in love, and you also fell in love with the designers who were trying to find their voice, their lane, their space. And you create this moment where everyone in the world wanted to be at the tents in Bryant Park. At the height of it all, was it surreal to see?
It was totally surreal. Bryant Park, for me, I used to say it was the Ellis Island of fashion. If you wanted to be in fashion in America, you had to come through the tents.
Wow.
And it was global. It elevated the New York and American designers. We finally were able to compete with Paris and London and Milan. Nobody could put New York in second place. It changed the entire global fashion industry.